Hi everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about forces. This video is presented to you by College. So, first things first, forces are push or pull. You can't see forces, but you can see what it does. And forces are measured in newtons with a capital N for a symbol. So the effects of forces are they can change speed, change direction, and change the shape or size of an object. Now let's take a look at the two main types of forces. Contact forces, which act between objects that are physically touching, and non-contact forces, which act between objects that are not physically touching, since obviously they are the opposite of each other. So, let's take a look at some examples. For contact forces, we have friction, upthrust, and air resistance, while non-contact forces are gravity, magnetism, and static electricity. So, as you can see here, a man is carrying a box. The two arrows on the box show the forces which are acting on the box. The length of the arrow indicates the size of the force, and the arrowhead indicates the direction of the force. So, now let's look at the forces in action. Here is a car. It has weight, friction, engine, normal reaction, and air resistance force acting on it. So, the car is moving. This means that the engine force is larger than friction and the air resistance force, which is allowing the car to move. Gravity is pulling the car to the center of the earth, but the normal force is opposing it. The normal force and gravity are equal since the car is on the road and not anywhere else. Now let's find out how to calculate the resultant force. Here we see the engine force is 90 newtons, while air resistance and friction put together is 80 newtons. So 90 newtons minus 80 newtons is 10 newtons to the left. Now, here is something called unbalanced forces. This is when forces acting on an object are not equal. There is a resultant force present, and the object subjected to the force will be moving. But on balanced forces, it's the complete opposite, and forces acting on the object are equal. There is no resultant force present, and the object will either be stationary or will be moving at a constant speed. Now, how to calculate the speed? Let's say this car has traveled 40 meters in 20 seconds. That's a simple equation known as speed equals distance over time, where we have to divide 40 meters divided by 20 seconds equals 2 meters per second. Also, the units are kilometers per hour and meters per second. So, now let's take a look at some examples for forces. First, we have friction. This takes place between two objects which are sliding on each other, and it's always in the opposite direction to the movement. The amount of friction depends on the material it is acting on, and friction always produces heat. So, here are some types of friction: air resistance, water resistance, and upthrust. So, the uses of friction are grips for shoes and tires, brakes, and parachutes, while some of the problems of friction include slows down machines and vehicles, and it's also the cause for forest fires. Let's move on to our next example, gravity. This is an attracting force. It acts on any object with mass has a gravitational field strength, and gravitational force pulls to the center of the earth. Larger the mass, larger the gravitational strength. So, here are some planets' gravitational field strengths. Earth has 10 newtons per kilogram, but Moon with a less mass has less than 10 newtons per kilogram. Here are some more facts. Weight equals mass into gravitational field strength, and gravitational force decreases as the object is further away from the Earth. And the gravitation force of the Sun is what causes all planets on the Earth to orbit it. If you want the presentation, just contact us. Also, don't forget to check out the quiz. Link in the description. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.